Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and welcome to this week's Winners on a Wednesday. Over the last 12 years, I've done hundreds of property deals. However, this week, I'm going to introduce you to Alasdair Cunningham. And Alasdair came as a student. How many years ago did you come as a student?
Just over 3 years.
Just over 3 years.
Yeah.
And this dude, it took me 4 years to become financially free. This dude did it in 3 months, and since becoming financially free, you've gone on to do hundreds of property deals.
Yeah.
So you're probably the most successful student, if not one of them, that I've had, and it's a real honour to now be a friend. Why don't you just give a little bit of insight about what you're doing now, and then we'll go through what happened.
Well, yeah, obviously we met like mid 2016, and I was like I was inspired by you, but I was very sceptical of you because that's just me. I was a sceptical, as you call me, a sceptical Scot. Very sceptical, and then I just came and I got involved and I done it and I went full out. I played full out, and I got one property, then I got another property, and then I got some lease options, then I done deal sourcing, and now like I've got a property portfolio, I've got passive income, I've got deal sourcing business which is systemized. I'm training, I'm speaking, so I'm speaking on the very stages that I was sceptical about.
Which is crazy.
It's just crazy.
But the journey of what happened, if people only knew where you are now, and where you've come from, like the story, like I pinch myself, and you can probably pinch yourself.
100%. Do you know what's interesting? I met a student that signed up for the training exact same event that I did the other day, and I was actually running an event that he was a delegate at, and he was like, I cannot believe the transformation. Yeah. And he was very like, really heartfelt as well. Yeah. So it was really nice, and he was like, wow, you've just changed so much as a person, as a trainer, as a speaker, as a businessman, and just all round. And it's like
and
crazy.
You've even written a book. Yeah. You've even written a book. What's it called?
Whatever It Takes.
Why did you call it that?
Because you helped me with that. Because you said you do whatever it takes. Yeah. And I remember you said, we were just chatting one day, and you said, do you know why you're successful? Because you're prepared to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's right.
I said, that sounds like a good book name. So I just went for it.
But I think it's so true. I think, and your book, by the way, is a fabulous book.
Yeah,
it's one of the few property books that's probably better than my property book. But no, it's a fabulous book. But it's just so true, and we've done so much together. We've almost died together on the River Nile in Africa.
Yeah, I still get flashbacks, mate.
Yeah, literally. Maybe we could talk briefly about that. But we've done so much together, and I see you now as a brother. And I think that though, in order to win, if you're starting from nothing or starting from very little, in order to win, I think you do need to be prepared to do whatever it takes. Because and sometimes people criticise me for making it look too easy, which I take as a compliment, by the way, because it's like saying Cristiano Ronaldo makes football look too easy. Saying I don't make property look easy is a good thing, but whatever you do in life is going to be hard work. If you're going to have a job, it's hard. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, it's hard. If you're being fat, it's hard. And being slim is hard. It's whatever you're going to do is hard. But to achieve what you've achieved, you need to do whatever it takes. So talk me through right from the very beginning, and then I want to draw lessons out of what happened. So how did this all start?
Okay, so it started by me seeing you on TV. Week the Landlords Move In. So early 2016.
That was a BBC show.
Yeah, it was.
Ironically, that was the BBC actually making me look bad. Yeah, well, the BBC have a great knack of trying to make me look bad.
I didn't think you looked bad from it.
Did you not?
No, not at all.
Even though I was the greedy landlord.
No, I didn't see that. Honestly, do you know what I thought?
Yeah.
I thought, he's just a landlord, and like when you went into that lady's house and the plaster was falling out, I just thought, it's not your fault, you're the landlord, you're not the manager. Yeah. So maybe your management didn't tell you, things like that. So I didn't see that as a bad thing.
What's interesting is though, when the TV try and set me up or make me look bad, what people don't realise is they're still giving me exposure. Yeah. Like if the newspapers are saying stuff, trying to paint me in a bad light, like Channel 4 did with Joe Lycett, how many people have come through our business as a result? Because they watch it and they go, oh, that looks a bit off, oh, that's weird, and then they actually check the facts, and then they go, oh.
The thing is, we speak of this a lot, right? Negative people will always be associated with negativity, so they'll love it, they'll thrive in it. But people like me now, me back then, I would have been the negative one. Yeah. But I still would have looked, okay? But now, I don't even fall into that negativity. Now, I'll fact check and I'll look into something. So if I hear a story about anybody, I'll always look into it.
Okay, so you see me on the TV?
Yeah, saw you on TV. I came to the crash course. Yeah. And talking about whatever it takes, right? And we see this a lot. People come up with excuses why they can't. Oh, how long's the crash course? Like, the crash course that's coming next week. Yeah. I've had messages, people saying, how long is it? How many hours is it? I'm like, does it matter? Yeah. You want to learn, so do whatever it takes.
You say next week, you realize it's the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah. My point being is people message you saying, well, how long is it going to be? Where is it? It's in the UK.
Yeah.
Get there. I missed my brother's wedding to come to the crash course.
Dude, I remember you messaged me on Facebook and you said, I'm not able to come to the crash course this year.
Yeah.
Is this the last one of the year? I'm not able to come. I'll come next year. And
you were going to paternity with Ruby.
Yeah.
And you were going to be off for like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I don't go, I'll not go. So I need to go.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately I missed my brother's wedding at the time. We're good now, but I missed my brother's wedding at the time to come. And then I was still very skeptical all of day one. I was like, really? Yeah. He's making it sound very easy.
Yeah.
Really? And then on day 2, when you offered to do Never Use Your Own Money again, I was still like, I wanted to do it, but I was like $2,000 was a lot of money back then. And I was like, and then Lisa said, just stop messing about and just go and do it. Yeah. And I done it, and then I came to the deal.
Lisa, by the way, your partner.
Lisa, my wife, yeah.
And wife, sorry. And I don't think if it was for Lisa being there, I don't think you would have.
I wouldn't have, mate. I wouldn't have.
So we have to give massive props. She's a fabulous lady.
Yeah, 100%. And I came to Deal Finding Extravaganza, Never Use Your Money again. Yeah. And I actually left. And I know I've told you about this before, but I got to the venue and my whole negative mindset came back in.
What is that negativity? Where's it come from?
Scottish, mate.
Is it though? Because is it Scottish? I mean, Scottish skepticism, yes. They're like, yeah. And I remember you saying to me, you were like, just look me in the eye and tell me that this is true.
I did.
Just look me in the eye. And I looked you in the eye. I was like, I can't promise it's going to work for you, but it works.
Do you know something? I'll tell you about that in a minute. But where it comes from is I've been brought up to think if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. Yeah. And I'm sure everyone's heard that, okay? And you sort of, you're led to believe that if you want anything in life, you have to work your ass off for it. Physical, hard labour. And I come from a family of labour, of joiners, builders, carpenters. Like, I was a bus and coach mechanic. I was getting filthy dirty every single day, fixing buses and coaches, and I was working hard to make money. And I was doing all right. I wasn't skint. I was doing all right. But I wasn't making big money. And then you showed me a way of, instead of working harder, still work hard, but combine that with working smarter. Yeah. And that's what I took away from, that's what I learned from you. Work smarter, not harder. Still work hard, but work smarter at the same time. And that's what I was doing. And I came to the DFE, and again, I was still a little bit skeptical. I actually left the venue.
When you say you left, what do you mean?
So I arrived at the morning on day 1, registered. My nerves kicked in, my anxiety kicked in, because I was like, there was like 25 people there, and I thought, is it really that easy? And I thought, do you know what? This is going to be a waste of 3 days. A waste of 3 days. And I got back in my car and I left. And I phoned my wife up and I said, look, I'm just going to go to work and not. We've spent $2,000. It's not going to work for us. Let's just go. And then she said, don't be stupid, get back there. So I went back eventually.
So she was really like coaching you through it.
Yeah, she was, mate. More than people know. Yeah. And I went back and I got involved. And then day 1, I was doing what everyone was doing. I was just getting involved. But then what done it for me was in the evening, you might remember this, I don't know, but in the evening, we were all sat downstairs just chilling out, having a chat, having a few drinks. And then I was sat with a guy who was very shy, very, very shy. And he went to bed and then I was left on my own. And you saw me, you didn't know me then really, but you come over, you made the effort to go out away from the crowd, come over, and just sit and say, how you doing? How are you getting on? What are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? And that was the moment where I actually thought, he's actually not a bad guy. I went from actually not distrusting you, but I went from thinking, like, he's just trying to sell to me, to actually he does care. Yeah. And then that was what made me then sit up, pay attention, and then the next day when I was speaking to you about the academy, and I did. I shook your hand. I wouldn't let go of your hand. I looked you in the eyes and said, "Yeah, you remember that?" Yeah,
I remember it. And it's so funny because I actually remember coming, sitting, and speaking to you as well. And at the time, I just thought, I don't even think I knew you now. No. I just thought, he looks like he's on his own. Hope he's okay. Yeah, I'll go and sit with him. Little did I know, and this is a really important lesson for me now. That small act of just, not even kindness, it's not even, but just that act of caring about people, that small little act there, if I hadn't have done that, then that might have meant that you parted companies, 100%. And I wouldn't have the friend, the success student, the trainer, the business partner that I have. Just
that wouldn't. You're right. That wouldn't have happened because I wouldn't have joined the academy. Yeah. Because my negativity and my skepticism was still there. But you broke that a little bit by just caring, and you didn't even talk about houses. You didn't even talk about property. I don't remember exactly what you said, but it wasn't like, oh, you got to sign up to the academy. It wasn't none of that. It was just, how are you finding it? Are you enjoying it? Can I help you with anything?
Yeah.
Like, tell me about yourself. It was
so
just
important,
personal.
though.
Yeah, personal
Such an
touch.
important lesson.
And it made me realise that actually you are a caring guy. And then I come on to do the academy. I went off, found some deals, co-sourced at the time, sold 9 deals in 9 weeks, made 27 grand or something like that.
Let me just say the negative though real quick.
You go on.
You did the training,
Yeah.
the deal finding extravaganza, never use your money again, you spent a few £1,000s or
Yeah.
whatever it was. You then went off and all the viewings that you'd booked from the course fell through, they didn't work, they were dud houses. Is that right?
They were, yes. But knowing what I know now, they were all perfect houses.
Oh,
That's
right,
the problem,
okay.
right?
But you thought they were good houses.
Yeah. At the time, I thought, wow, this needs so much work. But to me now, they're perfect buy, refurbish, refinance opportunities.
Right.
But I hadn't done the buy, refurb training at this point.
Yes.
So I'd only done deal funding extravaganza and never use your money, which gave me enough information.
That's why you were on the academy.
That's why I joined the academy.
Okay, so the houses that you saw then didn't work.
Yeah.
How did you feel at that point? Did you feel demotivated? Did you want to quit?
100%.
Okay, what happened?
I'll say, I done a full day of viewings, because I chose Hull as my area, full day of viewings, and I remember I looked at like 9 or 10 houses in one day, all of them sucked, and I remember in the back of my car, piles of paperwork. You know, like when you first start, you're very eager, so you have a flip chart, you have viewing forms, you have all the PDFs from all the properties, and they were all in the back seat, and there were just notes everywhere, and I'm like, told you, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. And I remember the very last viewing, I met a lady called Amy, a estate agent called Amy, and she said, look, I've got another one you can view tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I'm not actually here tomorrow, but do you know what, I'll stay over. So I went into the Ibis and Hull City Centre, I stayed over for one night.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, yeah, I'm prepared to do that.
Yeah.
And I went to that viewing the next day, and that viewing was a property in Hull, and it was a fully refurbed 4-bed HMO. And I actually sold that to an investor 2 days later.
Wow.
So because I stayed, and that made me think, actually, this does work if you put the effort in.
Yeah.
See, I was prepared. I nearly got to a point where, end day one, where I'm like, yeah, I told you, I'll give it a bash. Let's give up.
I'm going to be really, really honest and vulnerable for a moment right here, actually. I didn't plan on talking about this, but when we spoke at the Deal Funding Extravaganza and you joined the academy, I remember telling you that any properties that you found, we'd help you sell, we'd co-deal source, but we didn't. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding.
Oh, there was a little bit, yeah.
Between the commission split, which was, to be honest, was on me.
Yeah.
I hadn't been clear properly, and I had given the impression that we would split the fee 50-50.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, I was offering how much?
I
don't know, like a few hundred quid.
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot of money, right? Which was totally my bad.
Yeah,
okay, totally my bad.
Right.
And you then started bringing a couple deals to me, and like, oh, can you sell these? And I was like, yeah, I can sell them. And then when it went over to our finance team, and Russell got involved in that, Russell was like, okay, here's how the structure works, here's how the commission works. And you were like, that's not the impression I got from Samuel.
Yeah.
Russell came to me and said, dude, what did you say? Why is Alasdair, and it wasn't just you, there was also Stuart Brown. Why are these guys under the impression that you said this? And I was like, to be honest, I didn't know what the actual deal was myself.
Yeah.
So I remember ringing you up and saying...
Let me clarify, you rung me on a Sunday.
Right.
I don't know if you know that, if
no,
you
I remember.
You rung me on a Sunday, mate. And I'll tell you what, yes, fine, there was a little bit of confusion.
I messed up.
You did, yeah.
Hands up.
But you rung me on it, because I'd sold, I think, 6 or 7 deals by this point, and I was expecting, yeah, great, I've got all this money coming to me, right? You rung me up and goes, Luke, I've messed up. And completely open and honestly, you said, it's my bad, I've messed up. So what do you want to do? And you actually said to me, dude, if you want to just shake hands as friends, we'll part company, I'll give you all your money back, and we'll part company. And I'm like, no way, it's not happening.
I remember
saying, dude, you ain't
that.
getting rid of me.
Yeah.
And you said, well, what do I need to do to make this right? And I said, honour what you said, and then from this point forward, we'll go for the new... And that's what we've done.
Yeah.
You honoured what you said.
Again, though, such a strong
but
lesson.
that motivated me to start my own deal sourcing business.
Yeah.
So good, I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
For messing
Mate,
up.
so many lessons in this, though, because number one, I dropped up, I messed the board, I messed up, right? But then I said to you, how can I put this right?
Yeah, of course
do you want your money back? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You told me, we agreed, But then as a result of that, because you're thinking, I don't want to be taking a few £100 from
100%.
Samuel's company, you said to me, how do I find my own investors? Talk what happened, because this is powerful.
It's true. So what happened was, you said to me, because there was a little bit of confusion, you said, okay, come to the office on Monday, bring one deal. I brought 3 deals.
What did I say I'd do with that deal?
You said you would help me sell that to an investor.
Yeah, and show you the whole...
You would show me, essentially, deal selling.
Yeah.
So I came to the office at Hilton Hall Monday morning. I had 3 property deals that I was working on. I brought them to you. By 11 o'clock, we'd sold them to investors, money in the bank. We were sat in a pub having lunch.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I remember you...
And that was the start of the deal selling masterclass.
It was, which we'll get on to. How did you feel, like, what actually happened on that day? Because I remember saying to you, dude, bring me a deal, right, come to my office, I'll sell the deal in front of you, and I'll show you the whole system of how to find investors, sell deals, what to do. And I basically put together a little program for you, which now we've adapted, which we'll come on to. But what happened on that day?
On the day I arrived, you looked at the deals, we done due diligence, we sent an email out
to my list,
to your list, and we just literally hold your phone up, bing, 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 constantly.
What was the bing?
And text messages, investors texting in, saying, yeah, show me the deal, show me the deal, show me the deal.
I want it, I want it.
The thing is, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
That was the biggest motivation I ever needed.
Yeah.
Seeing that was the biggest motivation I ever needed, because I'm like, I worked my ass off to earn £2.5 a month, and we're selling a deal making £2.5 in an hour.
But you didn't just bring one deal; you brought 3,
and we sold all 3.
Why did you bring 3?
Because I do 2 reasons. One, because I like to over deliver on everything I do, and secondly, I knew I was being cheeky because I thought if I bring 3, you might sell all 3. Yeah. I was just being cheeky, and I knew that. I knew that if you're the sort of person that if an academy member or somebody that's doing training or whatever does 1, you'll multiply. We make 1 move, you make 10.
That's what I always say.
Yeah, of course you do.
You got to, and sometimes people say, "Why are you spending so much time with Alasdair?" People used to say that.
Yeah,
remember when it used to be called Golden Boy?
Yeah.
But it was. We got annoyed. People used to say, "Why do you spend so much time with Alasdair?" And I'm like, because when I tell Alasdair to do something, he does it times 3.
Yeah.
Right? When I tell you to do the same thing, you come up with an excuse. Alasdair just does it. So as an investor, I'm an investor. Not just of my money, but also of my time. I'm going to spend more time with people. So I put this little program together. Not only do we get loads of text coming through on my phone, but then I pick up the phone, you hear me sell.
I heard you selling, and you're selling. You're a good salesman, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I love sales.
Sales is an important skill.
Of course it is, and actually hearing you pick the phone up to investors and sell to them, really good. Yeah. Like seriously, it opened my eyes because I was very much like you can't sell because it's dirty and like selling's crazy. No. I love selling.
You got to filter them first, make sure they want it, sell to them. So I sold 3 deals there and then. They were your deals.
Yeah.
As a result of that, you went on to set up your own company, which is actually, I'm a silent partner in.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Better for transparency's sake.
100%.
And we take a nice dividend from that each month.
We do. We get that's passive.
Yeah.
Do you know what? People say you can't systemize deal sourcing. Well, I did.
Yeah.
We did.
So talk to me about that, because after that program, the unofficial deal selling masterclass, you went and started caning it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how it started. I went absolutely crazy on networking.
Yeah.
Like people say, how do you find investors? Okay, network.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. I was speaking at networking events all over the country. I was driving all over the country to speak at networking events. Do you know why? Because I remember when I asked you how you found investors, you were telling me you were going to PIN meetings. You would drive 4 hours to speak at a PIN meeting for 30 minutes to drive home. Correct. And I was doing the exact same. And I remember I went down to Cornwall to speak to an event. I was told to be about 40 people there. And there was like 6 people there. Yeah. And I remember driving and I thought, oh my God. But I would still do it.
Doesn't matter.
And you coached me a little bit with speaking in front of people and things like that. And it was really good. And then I went out, built my investors list. I went out, found deals. Again, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. So I remember leaving my house one day on a Sunday morning to look at 2 houses in Lincoln. I got chatting to the agent. She had some more houses, so I ended up staying out. I ended up being out away from my home for the whole week. Yeah. I looked at 52 houses that week. I sold 4 of them to investors while I was on the road. 2 of them, I was over the top of the Pennines, sending text messages and sending emails, and like 4 houses by the end of the week. On that week, I also found a property that I took on as a lease option agreement, and none of it was planned at the start of the week, because property is about people, it's about relationships. So when you're getting out there and you're speaking to agents, speak to them and listen, because they've got problems and you can fix them. And one thing I love about you and the way we train is that's what we train. Property is about people. It's about win-win, fixing a solution to somebody, fixing a problem to somebody's, providing a solution to somebody's problem.
Money comes from people, not property.
Yeah.
In your case, money comes from our staff because you have them as tenants.
I do have tenants, yeah.
Yeah, but he tries to poach our staff for tenants. Do you need any houses in Hull? I'm like, no, they're in London, go away.
Yeah,
in fact, one of your very first lease option agreements in Wolverhampton, we had some of our tenants, our staff,
2 members of staff stayed there,
which is fine. And it's the same on the academy. A lot of academy members, they've got rent-to-service accommodation units, and all the other academy members stay there.
When they go to events, things like that. Yeah, I was seated as that with the one at Heathrow.
Your lease option agreements right from the early days, they must be getting close to...
Well, do you know what? I was actually speaking to one of the ladies, one of the ones I've got in Hull, she's wanting to complete in it now.
Great.
And yeah, I'm in a position where I can. So I had it valued a couple of weeks ago, and it's not quite where it needs to be valuation-wise, but she's prepared to take a bit of a hit on it just to get it off.
That was only like 3 years ago.
Well, it's 2 years, 2.5 years ago. I've got 2.5 years left on the agreement.
Yeah.
So we're probably completing it next year.
So how much rent are you paying the landlord?
420, I think it's 420.
420, and you've turned into a 4-bed HMO.
Four-bed HMO, and up until the start of COVID, it was making around £1,250 to £1,300 a month.
Wow.
But then COVID come, and the tenants, they were all Polish tenants, they all went back to Poland. The property sat empty for a good 3 or 4 months, but now it's tenanted again. So
this happens, right?
It happens, yes. It's a business.
Yeah.
I look at it as a business, not a hustle. So it's all good.
What's the difference between a business and a hustle?
Well, business, you get business results. Hustles, you don't. I always say, if you're going to treat whatever you do, treat it like a business because you get business results. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll get hobby results. And I treat it like a business. The money just sits in the bank for when I have void periods and things like that.
So you started coming to events.
Yeah.
So we set up Better Sourced. You're selling lots of properties. You're doing lease option agreements. You HMOs. You're becoming so successful as a property investor that I'm like, dude, come down to the crash course. Come down to some of the events, and literally just share your story on stage, because your story was so powerful. And sometimes people hearing it from me is one thing. Oh, I just did this. I just did that. But sometimes they might be like, yeah, but. What about your students? So you start coming along to the crash courses, and people would give you, when it was like, what was your best part of the crash course? They'd be like, Alasdair. Literally, it was almost embarrassing. I remember reading through the feedback forms. I've been on stage for 12 hours. You jumped up for 15 minutes and shared your story. Best part of the day, Alasdair Cunningham. I'm like, oh my, literally an embarrassing amount of people. So I approached you. I was like, dude, you're doing really well on the property side. Yeah. I know you're coming to the crash courses and sharing your story. I just wanted to check that you're free for the next year to do that, because I need you there.
Do you know something? This is about you actually. 2018 and actually 2017, 18, I've been to every crash course we've ever run since I've been, apart from one where there was 2 crash courses simultaneously, right? And I was running one of them.
Oh wow!
So
there we go.
My point being is, we teach serve before you sell.
Yeah.
And you're a big advocate of serving for yourself. And you encouraged me to serve. And that's what I was doing. And do you know what? That massively helped me in my business, in my heart and everything. It helping people before you sell to them. And it builds you up. It's so good.
Because people would have thought, like, I remember people saying, oh, he must be on commission or something. And it's like, no, you were coming month after month. In fact, week after week, because we're running them all the time, just because you wanted to help people. Yeah. You wanted to inspire. But I know off the back of it, you were building, your business, and you were selling deals.
List. I was building my list. I was selling deals.
Yeah.
I was getting people ask me to spend days with them. I got joint ventures out of it.
But what you weren't doing though is you weren't coming to the event, sharing your story, and then trying to pitch and sell. Yeah, no. You were just coming and helping people.
I was honouring you, and the fact that I was honouring the crash course, because the crash course is what got me started. Now, what does my head in is when people come to serve, but with the pretense of I'm trying to come and poach some customers. I'd never done that. I came to serve you and the crash course and the people at the crash course, But naturally, off the back of it, people connect with me and want to do business.
And then people say, Sam, how can I get on stage at the crash course? It's like, just serve.
Serve, yeah.
Add value. Do the training, go get results, become financially free, come on Winners Wednesday, and then, if you're asked, which you will be, do a 2-minute piece. Yeah. Travel to Scotland to do a 2-minute piece. And then if you're good, and you're heartfelt, and you help people, and you come up on the feedback forms, then you're going to get asked again and again. So as a result of that, at the same time, I'm doing more and more events.
Yeah.
We're getting an overpopulation of people. People are flying in from all over the world. And, you at the same time, you started doing like, I mean, how many deals did you do last year? How many did you?
Over 220.
Ridiculous.
220, yeah.
So you're here, someone that's coming to the events, someone that loves the training, a product and a walking, talking testimonial, but also someone that's wildly successful in property. So I'm like, I've got all these training events. Yeah. I've got a couple kids and different things. So I thought, well, actually, maybe I could train you to be a trainer, and maybe you could start helping with some of the events. Yeah. And talk to me about how I approached you with that and what happened.
Do you know something? Before we get into that, right, I've always felt I was destined to be on stage. From 10, 15 years ago, I remember watching, I can't remember who it was, but this guy was on stage delivering a seminar, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to be on stage helping people. And then I met you, and then you're on stage, and I'm like, oh my goodness me, this guy's crazy. Like, he's delivering amazing, and he's helping all these people, and I thought, I want to be like that.
It's so weird that you felt like that though, because no one would have known.
And I wouldn't have known.
You were in the audience with your arms folded and your glasses, like we're all skeptical.
I saw the other day on YouTube a video of a crash course, the crash course I went to, and like, everyone's standing up clapping, and I'm sat there like this. Like, it's so funny.
Little do we know that you're thinking, I want to be a trainer one day.
I know. The video pans around, and I'm like this. And everyone's going, yeah, and I'm... No,
it's so funny.
But the way it came about was you approached me and you said, look, you need to go on stage and you need to train. Yeah. Because you're such a walking testimonial of it. You've got good energy.
I created another training program just for you.
Yeah, you did actually. Tell the world.
Tell the world.
It just wasn't called that. It was Tell the World, okay? Leaders create leaders. They don't create followers,
correct.
Okay? And you're a big advocate for that. You empower other people to lead, and you've done that with me. You've done that with somebody else as well. Now me and that other person came along, and we just spent 3 or 4 hours with you, just talking about how to train and how to speak to people and how to help people and how to help speak from stage and all that sort of stuff. And then that led to me doing an hour piece at an event, and then an hour and a half piece, and then 2 sessions. And then before I know it, I was running an event, a 3-day event, and a 4-day event, and it's like, deep end, here I come.
The thing is, though, when you've got the knowledge to be a trainer, I mean, first things first, to be a trainer, you have to have first-hand experience.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
And you were doing deals day in, day out. You had deals that had gone wrong, deals that had gone right.
Yeah.
You're also, when you first came in, you were teaching our stuff, our formulas, 100%. Right? Because another thing is, I think it's, you've got to be so careful. I see people, they've got one rent-to-rent deal, and then they start mentoring people how to be a rent-to-rent, and it's like, I'm not going to judge.
No.
But you just have to be so careful because
I know, it's crazy.
you need a few years experience. Yeah. You need backing.
Yeah.
You need to have the right insurances. There's so much that you need. I mean, geez, if you think selling property deals, you need to be compliant and need to do it properly. If you're training people how to do stuff.
Yeah, it's a minefield.
You came on under our umbrella with our support and teachings, and then were able to blossom. You were on stage in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I
would never have thought that.
No.
Never would I have ever thought that.
We sent you out to the rural parts of Africa in the villages to stand on stage and teach business, and so you just blew up, man.
Do you know? Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. I agree with that. But it comes from practice, because we can teach anybody the skills of public speaking, but what they will not get is the practice and the stage time.
Yes.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
And what I love about you is you've always been very much, there's the stage.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
As long as you're delivering and teaching what we want you to teach, have fun.
And I remember
because I'm true to who I am.
Yeah.
and I'm walking the walk, it's easy, and it gets easier and easier and easier with time. And I don't even get nervous now. And I've watched you on stage for years, and I've seen you how you do it. I've seen you how you deliver, and I deliver as much as I can, as best I can. I give everything to my training.
You know what though, dude? As not just as a property investor and a property entrepreneur, but as a trainer, you are world class.
Thank you.
You know, and it's honestly, and I know I taught you, and you've obviously got a lot of stage time and stuff. We used to, you do an hour piece, and then we'd meet up and we'd spend 10 hours studying what you did.
Do you know what I love about you, right? Is most people, when you go on stage, right, you'll do like an hour and a half on stage, and you'll come off, and everyone will be like, yes, man, you killed it, you smashed it. And you'll be like, yeah, you done all right. But here's 3 things to do better next time.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I want constructive feedback.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody just to blow smoke up my ass because they like me or because they think I need it. I want somebody that's going to say, you done all right, you done good, but next time do this. And because you were giving me really good, positive, constructive feedback, every time I got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
You know what though? You're right, but you can't sometimes it's really good to take criticism, but you have to sometimes only take criticism from people that are better than you.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like everyone loves to throw their 2 pennies.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everyone loves to throw their 2 pennies.
Yeah.
But now, honestly, as a trainer, and the great thing, the satisfying thing for me is, you know, obviously I'm running training and I'm teaching people and all that, and it's great. I've got a Winners Wednesday every week, but now you're a trainer.
Yeah.
And the rippling effect.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And that's what being a leader is. There's no room for egos in business.
I agree with that.
You know, it's not about trying to be the one or trying to be the best or it's about saying, actually, how can my message reach as many people? And if you look at all the leaders throughout history, they've always raised up other leaders. So, you know, I'm well proud of what you've done and who you've become. And also on the property side as well, let's not forget, you've got a lot of juicy deals going on right now. I haven't even been to some of your deals. I need to go down to Bedford.
Yeah, Bedford's a really good deal.
I've never been to Tell me about Bedford.
Bedford, it's a 4-bed end terrace. It's in a really good area that's just become Article 4. So I bought it pre-Article 4, knowing Article 4 was coming.
And you got the permission now, grandfather rights.
It's all done, man.
Boom, shaka.
It's all sorted, mate. It's all sorted.
Well done.
And I made it into I was going to go 6-bed HMO, but I decided to go slightly bigger rooms, so I went for 5-bed HMO. But yeah, it's a brilliant deal.
How much did you pay for it?
210,000.
And 210, what's the refurb cost?
50k I've allowed for it, and that included some structural issues because I had some structural issues.
That's 260 all in. End value?
350.
Oh my goodness.
But that's minimum. Now, the reason I've done a lot of research, this is going to be a 5-bed, a HMO, so I reckon it's going to come back about 360, 370. But the nearest 3-bed is 320, and there's no other 4 beds that I've sold nearby.
So you're just going to refinance it, pull your money out.
Yeah.
Rent it out. How much cash flow will that give you each month?
Well, okay, so I've already got somebody lined up to take it off my hands, give me £2,500 a month.
Nice.
Or I can rent it, do it privately, and I'll get about £3,500 a month.
That's financial freedom from that one deal.
I know. And it's going to be like most of my money back. Probably all of my money back. If it comes in at 350, I'll leave it £2,000 or £3,000 in there. If it comes back at 360, I'll get all my money back. So it's a banging deal.
And that's the thing. You know what? You don't have to work.
No, like that one deal.
Well, not just that one deal. I mean, geez, you've systemised your sourcing company.
Yeah.
Have you systemised the sourcing company?
Do you know what? Because, again, I'm a leader. So I found somebody, and I empowered them to run that business, and I just manage them. So I just speak to them. I speak to them every day. So
you just got like 2 or 3 members of staff.
Yeah,
run the business. But I've seen it.
And
it's systemised.
So basically, 2 or 3 members of staff, and then co-sourcers.
Yes.
And then they manage them, I manage them.
Right.
And that's it. And then
but
it's
all
systemised.
you do, my friend, I have to just expose you right now,
Please
is
don't.
you have like pretty much a weekly management meeting which probably lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah, so...
Hey Max, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Quick Zoom call.
Yeah.
Check the figures are in place, check the things are okay, look at the KPIs, key performance indicators, and then go, great. And then take your nice check.
Yeah, every month we get a decent payment from it. So.
And again, obviously, I mean, I get my check as well, right? Of
course, yeah. It's business.
I get my check as well.
It's all good, but do you know what? It's all good. It's business, and it's just one income stream.
Every month, though, you know, you've got a passive income, and the money coming from the sourcing. I mean, geez, look, it's big money.
It's not. It's big money.
It's big money. I like it.
So do I.
I like it. I hit the jackpot with Alasdair Cunningham. I hit the jackpot. But it's good
You're
money.
welcome.
But then, what's that?
You're welcome.
Yeah, but then it's reciprocal. It's business.
Of course.
See,
it is,
what
my
we've got is friendship, but also
Yeah.
it's business. And business, capitalism is a beautiful thing.
I agree with you
It's a
so much.
beautiful thing.
Listen, 3-4 years ago, I was working my ass off to earn 3-4 grand a month.
Yeah.
Now I'm still working my ass off, but I'm earning a damn sight more money.
But you know what,
and I'm
though?
working a lot smarter.
But
so.
here's the crazy thing, right? Your passive income is considerably more than it used to be when you're working your ass off.
Yes.
Everything you do now is from a position of because you want to.
Choice.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
All the speaker stuff, you don't get paid a great deal for that.
No.
Of course you get paid. You
Yeah,
have
of course,
to. And you know, that's all good. But you do that because the same reason I do that. It's mission, you want to.
Do you know something? Somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, when I was on stage, I said, look, anyone got any questions? And somebody said, look, why do you travel around, spend a lot of time in hotels, speaking on stage and helping people? And I'm like, because it truly is, because I see people come into the academy, come through the system, and they're like on $2 grand a month. And then Jamie Higgs, take Jamie Higgs, yeah? Working in a factory, working as in a logistical warehouse, okay, doing what he's doing, earning a decent salary. Within months, he's now quit his job. He's employed somebody. He's got passive income of about £8,500–9,000 a month, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, and that's all from the training that we've delivered, that we've showed him how to do. And it's like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
When you see normal, everyday people transforming their life by taking action, by learning the skills that rich people don't want to teach.
Yeah.
That's
They
why I do
don't.
what I do.
They don't. Well, you're actually the mission that you're on, which is the same mission that I'm on, is a noble mission, and you can vouch because you're a trainer now. They don't like it.
No, they don't.
We get
I agree with that.
attacked
Yeah.
by the media. We get silenced.
Yeah. I don't get anywhere near the sort of abuse you get. But I mean, bring it on. I don't care. I don't bother me.
No.
Because I've got thick skin. Because I know we're helping people.
You know what though?
And
When,
it's just
the thing is though, when you know your purpose in life, when you know your mission, you can see the results. People's opinions don't matter. You know, so and I remember they used to matter for you.
Yes.
I remember I'm going to tell the story now. I remember when you got your first bad review on your book.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago now, at least. You got your bad review. You rang me up and you were like, "Dude, I'm so angry. This person, look what they said. Look what they said." And they were like, "I need to ring them up and I need to give them a piece of my mind and let's get this." And I was like, "Dude, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen."
Yeah. You were very much like that.
Like honestly, if you can't take a bad review. And you're like, "Yeah, but it's not a legitimate review. They've not even read the book. Even in here, they say." And I'm like, "But dude, like honestly, this is just this is being in the kitchen, brother.
Yeah.
Do you want this or not? Do you want to be on stage? Do you want to be empowering people? Do you want to be because you can't have all of the satisfaction of helping people and changing lives and all that without having some people."
I agree with that, but I never used to. It used to really eat me up.
All the stuff you used to see online, you used to go mad. You used to be like, "Oh, Samuel, have you seen what they said about you online?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. I'm not interested. If it's that bad that it needs taken down, my lawyers will deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I'm busy looking at my customers."
And in fairness, I can now relate to that because I'm like that now. I don't give a rip.
I know you are now.
I really don't care. But I used to.
How do you learn? Because people ask me all the time. They say to me, "How do you deal with the heat and the hate and the people, the higher powers, but also the really poor people that are just jealous?" Because there's both. Right. I had someone yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video. I had someone yesterday say to me, "Samuel, go and get a real job, right? Go get a real job." And firstly, I was thinking straight away. As an entrepreneur, we don't go get jobs. We create jobs.
We create jobs.
But secondly, we create jobs for people like him.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
In fact, maybe not people like him, because we wouldn't employ a troll.
No.
I click on him, and guess what? It says looking for work. He's unemployed.
Yeah, of course
so
he
it's like, dude, you're telling me to go and get a job, right? I've got a business. Last year, it turned over £10 million.
Yeah.
Clean profit of £2 million. Guess what that means? That means I'm paying hundreds of thousands of pounds in taxes to the government, who are paying your benefits.
Yeah.
So why would you bite the hand that feeds you? Why would you not champion entrepreneurs, champion businesses? This is capitalism.
Yeah.
But people don't get it because they're stupid.
Yeah, I understand that as well.
So you've got those haters, and then you've got the higher powers.
Yeah.
Which exist. They don't want, because if you think about this, right? We got the government saying help to buy schemes, ISAs, pushing you to go down this, put money in the bank. The banks want your money, right? The banks want your money. Why? So they can invest it and they can give you 0%.
Yeah.
Right? When we stand there and say, actually, don't do that. Here's what you should do instead. Be financially independent. Don't rely on the government. Don't work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of what you couldn't afford to live on in the first place.
Yeah,
don't do the Help to Buy scheme. It's a sham. Do this instead. Like, to think that, and then get 1,000 people every time you run an event.
Well, we are. We're getting so many people. It's ridiculous.
We've had 700 tickets booked in the last week.
I know. It's ridiculous. But to answer your questions, why I can deal with the hate, the online hate now and all that, is because, do you know what? They're not customers. Yeah. They're not clients. They're not generally people that have paid money to come and do the training. The people we care about are people that have actually paid money, and then they've sent us messages saying, Alasdair, Samuel, do you know what? You've changed my life. Yeah. Like, I got a message last week from a guy who he just come to a program recently, and he's been dealing with something for the last 20 odd years. And he's never had the courage to speak out about that until now, because after we've done some training, and it's like, that's who I care about. I care about these people, not the people that have never done the training, that are just given an opinion of an opinion of an opinion. Yeah. I care about the people we're helping. And the messages I get every single day from people saying, Alasdair, your book's inspired me. Alasdair, your YouTube's inspired me. Alasdair, just seeing you do this deal has inspired me. Even just yesterday, I done a Facebook Live in Bedford, and I got a message from a guy who lives in Bedford. He's got some money to invest. He wants to invest in property. He's been following me and yours journey, and he's like, great, you've inspired me so much. I now want to quit my job and do property full time. How can I do some training, or how can I get involved? That's what I like. I care about the people we help and we inspire. That's right. And because I went through some bad times before I got involved in property, like everyone has. Yeah. And people read my book and then they're like, well, you've done it.
When we met, you had severe depression.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely,
and so have many people.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? If I tell that story from stage, or if I tell that story in my book, and it helps one person, that's my job done. Yeah. And I've done that. I've done that with Jacob, with many people. I've had. My book's reached worldwide. I've had people from Australia, from America read my book and say, wow, amazing book, amazing story. Tell me about the training you've done. Tell me about how you got here. So that's why I do what I do. Yeah. Not because the one loser who's broke says, oh, it's a scam. Come on, mate, grow up. It's like, geez.
No, it's silly. I mean, you just have to look at the customer's feedback.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. And you see the independent surveys as a trainer. In fact, we published them. Yeah. What was the last event that we did? The last deal selling masterclass. What was the feedback?
Last week. On average, 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. That means that, and no one scored it less than a 9. I think it was just consistent of 9s and 10s. Every person in the room, like, of course they would, because when you do what I did to you, where you're like, look, guys, let's sell a deal in front of you. And then they see ding, 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 ding. And
last week, deal sell masterclass, sold 2 deals, 7 grand in the bank. Yeah. How can they deny that? How can, like, you cannot unsee that.
You can't unsee it, because once you've seen it, how can you go back and do work for £2,000 a month when you just saw it made in 2 hours?
And do you know what? There's no other trainer in the country, apart from us, that can do that. No. Because they haven't got the database, they haven't got the list, they haven't got the reputation. No. They haven't got it.
And I'll tell you something as well. The property skill. You know, people say, oh, you don't need to go on the courses. Everyone that says that are people that haven't done it and are getting no results.
Having a bash.
They're having a bash. They're like, oh, you don't need to go on the courses. But like, you do!
100%.
How many people viewed that Bedford house?
43. Do you know, I was speaking to the agent beforehand, and I was the 44th person to view that house.
And everyone else said no thanks.
Do you know what put them off? Like, they went in the house, and the whole upstairs was being held up by acro props. So they were holding the ceiling up, because there'd been an extension built that hadn't been built properly. So the walls weren't tied in. So as a result, the walls were just separate. And there was some cracking, and there was some structural issues. And I came in, and with my knowledge and also with my connections from the academy, I spoke to some other academy members who know a lot more about that than I do. Yeah. And I said, look, this is what's happening. Can I send you some images? And they sent it over. The quote to fix the structural stuff was £36,000. That's what the estate agent gave me. They got a written quote, 36 grand. With the knowledges and with the empowerment, with the people in the academy, I got that done for less than 4.
Less than 4 grand.
4 grand.
But that's the thing.
And people say the academy is expensive. I just saved 3 times the cost of the academy in that one deal.
Yeah. And that's one of hundreds.
Knowledge and people.
That's one of hundreds of deals as well. Yeah. So it's like, if you want to be a professional anything, you want to be a professional, like, basketball player, you're going to need to pay a coach. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a hairdresser, lest you chop someone's ear, you need to go to college.
Yeah.
And you need to pay for that.
Yeah.
Property is the most lucrative profession on the planet. You want to have the choices, like what you've got now, the choices to speak or to travel or to do whatever you want, and you want to have financial freedom.
Yeah.
Property is the best way to get there, and you want to learn that skill, then, and luckily, most of our training's free.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
And again, the crash course, it's amazing.
Yeah, the crash course is really where it starts. You know, the crash course is just, and people think the crash course is just going to be, you know, like a bit of a sales pitch and this and a bit. It's like, no. On the crash course, I will on stage find a deal from scratch, calculate the ROI, call the agent, show you exactly what to do step by step. Yeah, there are additional training if you want, but I'm so glad you took the additional training.
So am I. Do you know what? I absolutely am. And I say this all the time. I would pay for that training 10 times over.
Yeah.
I would, because of how much I've made, the connections I've got, the friends that I've got, the network that I've got, the knowledge,
yeah.
the mindset shift, the change in my heart, the change in my soul, everything. It's changed everything for me.
Yeah.
You don't understand how much it's changed for me, because it's changed. The biggest thing it's changed is up there, because it means I believe in myself. And do you know what? When you believe in yourself, you're unstoppable. And like, I'm going to be a big force to be reckoned with. Trust me on that.
Dude, you already are. And you're just getting started.
And it all started by seeing you on TV and attending the crash course.
Yeah, and I think as well, like with your journey, I really believe you're just getting started, man.
I do as well.
You know, you're just
100%.
getting started.
I've never believed it so much as I do now.
Yeah, well, dude, I've got nothing else to say apart from massive respect. I admire you as a trainer as well, because people think as a trainer, it's just like, oh, you get all the glory, and you are serving. Yeah. It is hard.
Let me tell you something. Only bad trainers want all the glory.
Yeah.
The good trainers, like us, it's not about us. It's about the people out there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's people might see the pictures on stage, you know, of like 1,000 people and think, but no, this is hard graft. And by the way, the money, I can't even afford to take a salary from the training business because it's so bad.
Yeah.
The money is so bad.
Yeah.
As a businessman, I laugh at the training business. I laugh at it as a businessman. No thanks. I'll rather sell deals to people.
Yeah.
Rather than teach them how to find deals themselves.
Yeah.
But the missionary in me, the financial evangelist, as I've been called by the media, as a slur. I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm a financial advisor.
Do you know? I want to talk to you about that quickly. Don't end this up. I want to talk to you about that. The mission, right? People. I used to be one of these people, right? That would hear somebody going on about their mission. I'm like, yeah, bullshit, right? That was me. Like, somebody would stand on stage and say, yeah, it's all about the mission of helping people, and I was like, utter BS, right? And I would. And I'd probably said it with you as well, okay? But then you invited me out to Uganda. Now, what we had a one-to-one meeting back 3 years ago, and you gave me 12-month goals, right? And you said, as I was leaving, you said, no, you're not doing 12 months is too long. Do that in 3 months. If you do it in 3 months, I'll bring you out to Uganda. So we went to Uganda 2018. And I saw firsthand what you've been doing out there. Like, you can watch it on a video, yeah? You can watch it on a video, that's fine, easy. But when you're there firsthand and you're seeing the children, like that, do you know the little, in the first Africa video, there's a little child and somebody takes the bowl from him.
Yeah.
Well, I met him, I saw him.
Yeah.
And when you see it firsthand, again, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And like, for that, like that alone, I know you as a person from that. Just from being out there, seeing the impact you've had, seeing the change, and seeing what's happened in the villages with Charles and the charities that he's running that you've supported. It's really admirable.
Thanks,
really
man.
is.
And you know what? Again, you know, I don't even really do videos about that. I just crack on with it. And that I've been going out to rural parts of Africa since I was a teenager.
Yeah, I know you have, yeah.
You know, I mean, for me, that's just been ingrained in me to help other people. Now, obviously, we're out bringing education, schools, water, and different things. And again, having you out there. Sorry, I couldn't stick around for the whole trip.
Well, dude, you had an excuse.
Yeah, no, we were on a boat and I broke my leg. We both fell off the boat.
We both.
You almost died.
We both did.
I almost died. You ended up with bruised.
No, forget me. Yeah, fine. I was bruised, and I've still got a twisted pelvis to this day. But and I still got a chiropractor 3 times a week for it. But I remember when you bust your leg. It's still not weird. It's still weirdly shaped, right? You bust your leg, and I remember getting pulled in from the. They took them about an hour to find me and Anna. They pulled us in. And I'm like, where is everyone? Is everyone all right? And then you were at the front of this boat, and I thought, Simon's fine. I didn't, and you weren't, because you weren't screaming, you weren't shouting, you were just stood there and you were like, is everyone all right, is everyone all right? And I noticed your leg was over the front of the boat. And then there was a bandage on it, so I just thought you bruised it. And it's only when I come over and I saw the blood, and you obviously a bit of bone sticking out, and you broke your leg, but you weren't screaming and shouting. Yeah. At that point, your concern was only about where is my team.
Yeah.
And I remember you didn't say, you weren't like, shit, my leg, so get me a doctor, get me a doctor. You weren't like that. You were like, where is everybody? Where's Alasdair? Where's everybody? And everyone was telling me that. And we waited 3 hours for somebody to come pick us up. And we were in the rural parts of Ginger. Somebody come and picked us up, and we all got crammed into the back of this 6-seater minibus. And you were in the back seat, and you were leaning against the window, and I was underneath you, and you were leaning here, and I was supporting your leg, and we couldn't move your leg because obviously you broke it, and it was every time you move, you go over a bump, you're screaming, you're in agony. I was covered in your blood. I was all your blood all over my leg, and I remember you started passing out.
Yeah.
You were like blacking out, and I started shouting at you, and I thought, like, I'm sitting there shouting at Simon Leeds, telling him to wake up and telling him to stop, that you're not fucking going here. And I remember that. I don't know how much you remember of that.
Yeah, I do.
But then we got into it was horrifying, mate. I'm telling you now, it was the scariest moment in my life, because I thought I was going to die. I thought you were. I didn't know where you were going to be at.
Was shooting.
Shooting up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was literally shooting up.
Every time we took pressure off, it was just. Yeah. Squirting out, and it was just crazy. And we got to the hospital, like, what felt like, I always remember saying to the driver, how long? 5 minutes, 5 minutes. An hour later, how long? 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah. 3-4 hours later, we arrived at this hospital, and I remember we pulled the van up, bed came out, took you away. We all then got out. I walked across the hallway and I collapsed, I passed out. And it was just, and then you obviously shed loads of your blood. You were in hospital for
25% of my blood I lost.
Lost loads of weight. You were like different guy, and I remember we were all shooken up, and it was. So I've been there firsthand, and even then you were like, the mission still goes on.
Yeah.
We were all like, dude, we need to call this a day, and you're like, no. You're lying there in a bed, losing your blood. Your eyes were all bloodshot and bruised and whatever, and you're like, no, the mission goes on.
Yeah.
And we continued with the mission.
Yeah, I remember saying, is anyone else not fit to continue with the mission? And everyone was like, we're all a bit in a bad way. Yeah. But I was like, right, I can't. I've got to have an operation.
Yeah.
But in that case, Russell, your new team leader.
Yeah, crack on.
Go find the next water well we're building, because we've got stuff to do. We can't just neglect the mission. And that's the thing.
Our pain's temporary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Our pain
I remember
is temporary.
That's where I got that from.
Yeah.
You said that there. Our pain is temporary.
Yeah.
And how true is that?
It's totally true. It's temporary, but there's people right here that need water, that need support, and we've booked a week, and we're going to go make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? To become financially free, you just need to get a bit of basic skill.
Yeah, 100%.
To become ultimately financially free, you just need some skills. But I think to become a true leader, someone that really brings change and stuff, you've got to have a strong pulling mission. And you've got that. I've got that. It's a real pleasure, man. And David, I love you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being the only person I trust to run the Samuel Leeds training events right now.
Fine,
There's no one else that's a lead trainer apart from you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that between us we'll train more people up in time.
Yeah.
But honestly, mad respect. So, guys, if you enjoyed that, please do me a massive favour, drop a comment below. What was your favourite part of the interview? Comment below and I'll chop that little bit and I'll put that out on Instagram and on socials. Also, if you want to come to the crash course, I'm going to leave a link in the description. You can come along for completely free. If you're watching this relatively quickly after the interview, we're running a crash course on Friday this week and next week as well. I'll be there, Alasdair will be there, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. It's free and there's no catch, and it all starts at the crash course. So get booked on below. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.
See you guys.